First of all, it's a great honor to be sharing the space with Anand sir, whose books and titles we have been surfing around across the globe, I would say, and also reading his literary pieces, getting inspired. And a while ago in my introduction, when it was said, Right India winner, so it was at that time when we used to see prompts given by him as a judge and jury. So from there to being transferred here at this prestigious platform. So I would like to thank Sir, first of all, and and thank you to PILF, Dr. Manjari Prabhu, and the entire team for bringing everyone together on this wonderful platform year after year. So thank you so much, sir. And without wasting much time, I would begin. Humans have evolved, so has their lifestyle, their way of living, but the thought process has been stuck somewhere. It keeps getting stuck somewhere, and it still needs to evolve. And at this time, you come up with the Asura way. And as I believe, and you may correct me, sir, this is not a standalone work of yours. There are certain literary works that have reached to this particular book. So, what has been your thought behind this? And the very obvious question, why the Asura way?
Good morning. It's so nice and pleasant to be in this weather in Pune. Pune is always fun to come, especially when you come from Mumbai. You said humans are evolved, but have they? Is the first question. The human nature has not changed. The We might have got a lot of technology done. We might be living in better apartments or better homes compared to the caveman, at least compared to the caveman. But the aspirations remains the same. The way in which human mind is controlled by institutions remains the same. So why Asura way? The question is because we are all conditioned with certain things which are limiting us. So Asura way is my first non-fiction book. All other 15 books I had written, they are all fictional works. But in all those, you can find the glimpses of what I am writing. So Asura way, especially for the people who claim they don't have time to read fiction or time not to waste reading fiction, and they will read only non-fiction, serious intellectual works. So this is specifically for them, because this is like a capsule of whatever I have written. Because if you see my other books, they are all tomes, which if you can't read it, at least you can use it as a murder weapon. They are all huge, huge books, 500 pages, 1000 pages, 1200 pages. So this is something which you can easily read, finish in a flight perhaps, or your commute. It is also available as an audiobook. Basically what it talks is, it talks about how actually successful people live. We are all asuras, whether we like it or not. Only thing is that we don't want to acknowledge the fact. So that is why one of the things which I have said is, all may worship Ram, but everyone wants to be Ravan. So this is a Ravan's way of life, what we are talking about. So we will explore why Ravan is so attractive. Because my first book, Asura, Tale of the Vanquished, was about Ravan, telling the tale from Ravan's side, followed by Duryodhana, then Bali, and then Bahubali. But all these things I have explored this. So as we dwell into it, we'll talk more about Asura way and what it is and where are the roots of this thought. Is it new something, or is it already there in our Puranas and scriptures? What I am trying to prove is that most of the Puranic characters may preach one thing, but they all have lived the Asura way. Most of them, at least. So let us delve into that as we go.
Very rightly said, sir. We worship one and we want to become another. Yes, and we don't want to acknowledge the six you have mentioned.
Shadribus, the six
Yes,
enemies.
Yes, we all have them within us. We don't want to acknowledge, and we all live by that. So, coming to my next question, you have challenged the very virtues and values that we have been conditioned to live with. So how do you think this is going to impact the newer generations who are losing their patience day by day, who are becoming who are into the world of unrest, within themselves as well. So, how is it going to create a positive path for them?
One of the common refrain or one of the common signs of one getting old is that we start finding fault with the youth. So youth have been, I'm sorry, I didn't call you old or anything. I'm saying in my case, don't take it like that. So always this has been, huh? Old is gold. Yeah. You can take it to Muthoot. Pawn it. So old, nothing wrong with, it's about how you think about it. No, the moment we think, certain things when we explain, they talk that one of the things what all the elders, our teachers, all of them, God bless them, all of them talk about being contented with life. One of the thing they all say enemy of human mind is discontentment. A whole cottage industry or fortune finder industry has come out of this meditation, living in the moment, yogi baba, all pastor, all those things. Any religion, all communities do that. Because this is one controlling method. Contentment, they talk about. We'll go one by one, okay? Contentment. They say that one has to be contented. Be happy with what you have. Who is telling this? The Babas with private jets? The massive gold-studded temples, churches, or whichever religion. This is applicable across the religion. Only the methods change. All paths lead to same. All paths lead to greed. Only the method changes. They talk about, imagine this, they say that you have to live with what you have. Are these people living with what they have? See the kind of, so it is nothing wrong. We have to emulate them, not what they say. Never go by what they say. Live exactly like what they do. Okay. So you have to always understand that. So all of these people, even the greatest of so-called people who renunciate, they are having the greatest discontentment in life, right? We are contented, most of us are contented with a good job, some financial security, our kids doing well, having a good family life, looking after parents, basic things. We are contented with that. Some vacation once in a while. These people are not contented with anything in their life. They want moksha, they want heaven, and they are talking to you about contentment. So it's a ultimate, so you have to be like them. The more discontented you are, the better for you. Imagine a situation. Now take the logic reverse. You were the first man or the first woman. They say it was always the first woman. Let us call her Eve. She was contented. What would have happened? All of us would have been naked and ignorant. Right? So from discontentment it started. From total discontentment it has started. We all will be living in caves. It is every discovery, every invention comes from discontentment. We are, this is not enough. The traffic jam in Pune is not enough, so we get a metro. So that next 20 years they will construct metro and have 20 years of traffic jam. So by the time they finish it, it's time to rebuild it again. So we are in the constant, Bombay is no bad. Bombay, the entire place is dug up. Why? The politicians doing this are discontented with whatever they have made. So it is that discontentment which is driving them, but this also drives the progress. So if you get contented in your life, beware that you are marching towards your death. The contented man is a man in the grave. So Indians don't even allow that we burn them. Don't be even contented or rest there. Burn so that you can take the next life and continue the same thing again and again. We are one sadist people actually. There is no rest in peace for us. We'll come to the next one when you go.
Thank you so much, sir. That was quite enlightening. Yes, and as you said rightly, that the very people who try to influence our thought process seem to deviate from the fact that mythology in itself has always been questioning the very fundamentals of life and our existence. So, why this genre? And we know you have already said why did you choose, but we would again want to know, why did you choose mythology, and what is the success behind mythological fiction in India?
See, actually, this term mythology I know, is a very, it's a misnomer, because these are all usually associated with the dead civilizations. Greek mythology, Norse mythology, they have stopped evolving. These are the tales, fantasies of the people who lived 2000, 3000 years ago, and we may draw lessons from that. It is not true about Indian thing. We keep on churning it week after week. It is a living tradition. So that is why it's called Purana, and there are so many versions of it. So why it is? Because one thing, we are great storytellers. Indians are great storytellers. We are told the say, it's not just me. I am just following the tradition. That Ramayana itself, I would have told and made a good living out of Ramayana by telling from all angles. So I did Ravana in Asura. When I was doing, immediately after doing Ravana, I did the television series of Siya Ke Ram. So once again, Ravana became the villain from hero in the book, and it is all told from Sita's point of view. Then immediately after that, I did Chakravarti Ashoka, that is separate. On mythology front, Purana front, I did Sankat Mojan Mahabali Hanuman for Sony TV. So it is all Hanuman as a hero, as we know. It's a adventure come devotion. It's the first Superman, right? Hanuman is the first Superman ever invented. So Hanuman story I was telling. At that time I was writing Vanara also. In Vanara, Vali is the hero, and in Sankat Mojan Mahavali Hanuman, Vali is the villain. So morning when I am writing Vanara, he is the hero, and evening suddenly he turns villain. Why? Because this is how we have been telling. It's nothing new. Why? In Shaiva philosophy, Shaiva tales, Shiva Purana, Shiva is superior to Vishnu. So the same tale of Jyotirlinga, where Brahma and Vishnu goes in search of the end and beginning of Shiva, that gets reversed in Vishnu Purana, in the sense that Shiva and Brahma this time tries to go and search who is Vishnu. Finally they conclude what? Everything is same, yet different. Shakteya, it is totally told differently. Devi, Adiparashakti is that is from where everything originates. So we ourselves have been telling the tales in one of my, with beer biceps, one of the videos I did. I think people keep sending me back again and again that shots of who is elder, Ganesha or Kartikeya. This is for this diversity in, again I'll just, for the heck of it, I will ask it. Who is elder, Ganesha or Kartikeya? See, when I ask this question, no, if I ask in South India, I get a definite answer, 90% of the people. If I ask in North India also, I get definite answer. The moment I ask in Pune specifically, which is somewhere at the middle of it, you get 50% people are confused. What is right, what is wrong? The reason is, in South India, especially Kerala, Tamil Nadu, diversity is there. Ganesha is elder, and he is a bachelor. So when I came to Mumbai, I got shocked. I never got the invitation. He has 2 wives. Whereas Kartikeya is a younger one, Kumaran, he is a younger one, and he has 2 wives in South. But you go to North India, Delhi, UP, I am coming from Lucknow. Yesterday, Lucknow Lit Fest was so there in those places, Kartikeya is the elder and he is a bachelor god. They don't know he has got married and he has 2 wives in the south. So both these Ganesh and Kartikeya, all put together, Shiva and Parvati have got 4 daughter-in-laws, depending on who you ask. So it's all illusion, Maya, no? It is there, it is not there. So this diversity of telling Puranas give you a lot of leeway to learn and look at life from different angles and arrive at the conclusion that everything is right and everything is wrong, and it can be both at the same time, which gives a lot of leverage for writers like us to write from various angles. And that is how what Hinduism have been always about. No, it is about you choose your path. There is no right path. That's why the concept of Ishtadevata comes. It is my God. I create the God. And finally, where you reach is Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Brahman, the ultimate truth. Tattvamasi. You two are that. You reach that stage. But until you reach that stage, what you do, you make an image, Ishta Devada in these parts. If you do what you do from here only, it spread. The Maharashtrian culture of the Ganesh Chaturthi, it was celebrated different way in different parts of the country. But now all the festivals are merging into one. So Ganesha is made. What is the concept behind that? No, Ganesha is made in your form, not the plaster of Paris Ganesha you get from the market now. Originally, you are supposed to make it with your hand. For that particular period, you are praying to him. Ganesha is the god of Vidya, he is the god of wealth. Take this. All these things are important. Wealth is celebrated in India. Money is celebrated in India. Lakshmi, we have goddess. Kubera, we have goddess. Tirupati Venkatachalavati is the most popular god. Why? Because he is the one who has given the greatest offer. You give me 10, I will make it 100 and give it back to you. Something no Indians can resist. So Ambani is always there. Right? Because he doesn't have enough. Discontentment. So, Ishta Devada, you make Ganesha, you pray to him, you understand what it is, you are try to find God everywhere and in yourself. And after that, once you understand this tattva, you do Visarjan. Visarjan means what? Visarjan is actually waste, no? In Sanskrit, something which is called Visarjan is something waste. It is not a derogatory term. You are taking this Ganesha and putting him in the water, understanding that I learned the tattva, he is inside me. Only next year when it needs reminding, I will make it again, and this is my Ishta Devada. This comes as a concept. We made it into a huge celebration, that's a separate thing. But the concept is that this concept of celebrating life is what Indianness is about. It's not the rejection of life. Only for a few people, the rejection of life is accepted because that path is the toughest. So these are the yogis, not the real yogis or the rishis, what they call, from Buddha to Mahavira, to a lot of them are there, no, to Surdas, to so many of them in that tradition they are there. For them, this path is important. The path which our parents usually tell us is important. Because all these advice what Buddha gave, what Krishna gave to become a yogi, they are meant to be the yogi, not the chief minister yogi, the actual yogis. It is meant for them. We should not take the wrong manual and try to apply. Most of us are what you call grihastha. We are running a family as husband, wife, son, daughter, brother, sister. Our duty is separate, and for that, the materialistic path or the asura path is important. Don't look at the wrong manual and then confuse yourself. Because if you confuse yourself, you will get exploited. I would love to have my subordinates to be contented with whatever grass or peanuts I give and do the work. So I will always say, if I am a billionaire, a tech billionaire, unfortunately I am not. If I am a tech billionaire from Bangalore, what I will say, you have to work for and never expect any holidays or bonus or returns, so that I can buy the next penthouse of 50 crores. See how you are getting manipulated by the advice of do hard work. Don't expect anything. Respect your elders. Why? Because they are elders. I never want, my son is here. I always tell him, don't respect anyone just because they are old. A monkey who has grown old is not a wise monkey, he's just an old monkey. With all due respect, there is a concept of jnana vriddha in our philosophy. Vriddha is the one, its elder is the one whose knowledge has increased, wisdom has increased. It doesn't have anything to do with the age. The respect has to be given to them. So there are people because of experience, because of the wisdom, they have seen life a lot, lived life a lot, they deserve respect. Just because they are elder, nobody needs respect. That's Asura Marga. But you have to respect the person who deserves. It could be a 18-year-old Gukesh. Instead of your cantankerous boss, just because he is elder to you, who deserves more respect, right? So it has to be earned for any. That again comes as a part of Asana Marga. So the next concept what I am talking is never do anything without expecting results and return. The concept of Gita is told in some context, in some other context. Don't apply it. Gita definition is a industry now, cottage industry now. The interpretation of Gita. But what people are not understanding is there are all advices are valid depending on where it is applied. When you are a grahastha, when you are leading a day-to-day life, when you have got so much things to take care, your duty is to expect something, work for it, visualize it. You will feel sad if you don't get it. It's a natural reaction. Feel sad for some days. Nature has its own method to bring you out of the sadness. That is why all these emotions are there. The nature has designed. We are evolved like that. Greed, jealousy, these are all natural emotions. Only thing you have to see is that anything you go out of balance. Buddha talks about the Madhya Marga, the balance. So balance means what? If you don't have jealousy, no, you have lost the balance. You should have jealousy, but you should know how to use it. What is without balance? Jealousy is what? You go and kill the person who you don't like. So ultimately, all wealthy people are our enemies. These are all coming from jealousy taken to the extreme. So the balance is what, but never deny. That is why I tell the story of one story is there where the Guru was advising that you should do Nishkama Karma. You should not expect anything. You should be a Siddha Prajna. Gita Krishna says, no, Siddha Prajna. He tells it in some other context, but everywhere they use it. Siddha Prajna is what? Whatever happens, I won't be affected. The sunshine and rain are same for me. Whatever is the result, it doesn't matter to me. So the one idiotic disciple is there, idiotic disciple like me. So in the story he asks, he is looking, when the Guru is talking, he is looking, there is a buffalo in the field, half immersed in water. It's raining, it rains for some time, there is sunshine for some time. The farmer comes and beats it, but he keeps eating the grass. When the farmer leads it to plow, it plows. When it is time for going around the chakki to make oil, it gets whipped, it doesn't say anything, it goes. Typical corporate employee, right? All it gets is some grass and some water once in a while, and 1 or 2 day rest on some festival. Typical corporate employees, the Siddha Prajna, it is not affected by. So the disciple asked, do you want us to be like the buffalo? Is that what you are advising? So this is something which is advantageous for the people who want power. The power could be in the corporate, power could be in the politics, power could be in your household also. So they give a lot of duties. A housewife has to, the biggest scam which has been done is on this. The motherhood is the biggest scam. Because it is the biggest sale, no? You glorify it. What do you do if you want? What do you do to the dog? Very disrespectful way of saying it, but Asuras will say it like that only. You say, give it to fetch, it comes, and then you say, oh, dog is such a faithful animal. You pet it, pat it. But it is never, this is the same thing is being used. You glorify it and deify it. You first suppress it and then glorify and deify it. And then say that it is expected of a mother to be do thankless work. It's expected of this thing. That is what mothers are for. Mothers are God. Mere paas maa hai. And the entire life the poor one will be suffering. Because this has been celebrated a lot. This is done across the culture. It is nothing to do with India alone. Every culture, this is how society does it. If it is a equal and reciprocal relationship, which again in Ramayana you find with who? You find with Sita, not the Tulsidas Sita, Valmiki Sita. We'll come to a discussion later. Please ask the question. Keep on talking. I will tell why Tulsidas, why Valmiki Sita Why she was celebrated as the ideal woman, and not because for the reason we all think she is like that now.
We would very much want to hear that, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a question I don't want the audience to sleep off. Who is a stronger character in our Puranas? I hope some of you would have thought about it at least. Who is a stronger character, Draupadi or Sita? Stronger character, more modern in her outlook. Sita or Draupadi? Who is more modern in the outlook? Today's for a today's feminist, Draupadi or Sita? Okay, let us try to settle this. How it goes. Mostly, I am happy that some opinion is changing. 10 years back, when I used to ask this question, 99% of the people will say Draupadi. She is the strongest character again. And Sita, many people think as a docile, Adarsha Nari, how the Indian, in the last 300, 400 years, how they are defined the ideal Indian wife should be. All these things are not applicable for the Valmiki Ramayana. This is a Tulsidas Ramayana concept, medieval Ramayana concept of Sita. First, let us talk about Draupadi. Draupadi, how was she born? She is born for a purpose, right? Her father brings her from the fire. She is a fire lady. Why did the father bring out Draupadi? Because he was humiliated by the Kurus. So actually, there is one way of looking at Mahabharata. Actually, there is a traditional way of looking at Mahabharata where heroes or villains are neither Pandavas or Kauravas, but the Drupadas. Drupada was insulted, so he brings out from the fire Draupadi and Drishtidyumna to take revenge on Pandavas and Kauravas and destroy them, and Draupadi is placed inside to get this family destroyed. This is another way of looking at Mahabharata. There is this Mahabharata also. So Draupadi goes there with the purpose of revenge. That is why she agrees for 5 marriage and other things. So if you look that way, then Draupadi becomes a strong character. But in the traditional Mahabharata, how it is, she is she's so obedient that when Kunti tells, I have brought something, mother, gift, and Kunti says, okay, share it, and she says, thank you, Maji, and she shares all the 5 husbands. What a ridiculous characterization. If you go deep into Mahabharata, you find that that is not the reason. This is the reason why she agrees. Otherwise, Draupadi becomes such a fake character. No, she is just coming, mother-in-law is saying, share. Any woman here, you see, will agree to that. Maybe, perhaps, more fun, but still. Will they agree to mother-in-law telling it? They themselves choosing is a separate thing. Which woman will agree to a mother-in-law saying, okay, you be the wife of all my 5 sons? Who will agree? And if she agrees, is she the Adarsha Nari or Sita? The first question. So she becomes that. She is dragged by Dushasan, humiliated. And what is she saying? It is not that I will take revenge. Bhima says that I will do the revenge. Everything Bhima only does. One way of looking at it is Bhima is the hero of the story, not Arjuna. All the 100 Kauravas Bhima kills. Bhima is the one who fights for the honor of Draupadi again and again. Kichaka. He kills Kichaka. He kills Duryodhana, Dushasan. Anytime he goes to get Kalyana Saugandhika, he is the real hero of the story. One way to look at it. Mahabharata, everybody can be a hero. Achyutama can be a hero. Like how I wrote, Duryodhana can be a hero. That's the beauty of Mahabharata. But what does a revenge bring in? Finally, she loses all her sons. The entire, if you read Srivarva of Mahabharata, that is the crux, heart of Mahabharata, not Gita. It is about the futility of war. After the war, when everybody is dead, all the widows and children from both Pandava and Kaurava side, lakhs of them come to see the dead body of all the all their kin, sons, brothers, father, all these people, their husbands, to see that, and they all lament together. That is a crux of Mahabharata. This is where her revenge had led. Now take Sita's point of view. Sita was taken from, Sita was born from the soil, not from the fire. Fire destroys. Earth nurtures. This symbolism has a lot of depth. Earth is something which nurtures. She is the Bhumija, the daughter of soil. Wherever she comes, it is not destruction. She is not Yajnaseni. She is not Agniputri. She is Bhumija, Bhumiputri. Wherever it comes, the prosperity blooms. And when she comes to Ayodhya, if she is a person who will obey her husband, who she would become? The most uninteresting, uninspiring character in Ramayana. That's why Valmiki didn't dwell on her much. Urmila. Husband says, don't come with me. She says, Ji Arya, and goes to sleep. Right, that is her role in the entire Ramayana. Sita fights for her right, that I am your half. I am your equal. I will come with you to the forest. Ram gives hundreds of argument, but Sita says the final clincher argument is in all Ramayanas which has happened before. Sita has gone with Ram, so why not in this? It's a circular story. It's very deep if you think. Even in the first Ramayana, it comes that in all Ramayans which happened before. This is an unending story. She goes with Ram. When she is asked, it is not in Valmiki Ramayana, but so many other Ramayans. My next book is that, Many Ramayanas, Many Lessons. January it is coming. Thousands of Ramayanas which I compiled. So, whatever I heard, oral tales. But this is very common, Lakshman Rekha. And the so-called medieval era Adarsh Nari will never cross the threshold. They are not supposed to cross the threshold. But it is the independent Sita who decides, a hunger of a man, quenching that is more important than any restriction placed by my family. And she gets out. She is kidnapped by Ravan. And she is taken to Lanka. Hanuman comes there. You all know the story. Hanuman offers to take her back. She refuses to go. She says that, the word she says is very important. It will hurt the honor of Ram, the ego of Ram. So let him come and fight and take me back. And Ram comes, the war happens, everything happens. When Sita comes back, if you go and read Valmiki Ramayana specifically, Ram is very cruel to her. There are reasons for it. There are a lot of philosophies regarding that. That is a different discussion. And telling just what it is there. Why he said that, there are 100 reasons for it. But he says that my duty is over. The problem with the duty, you do only your duty and worry about the result. This is where it is leading. My duty is over. You can go to wherever you want. There is a misconception that Ram asked for Agni Pariksha. No, Ram doesn't ask for Agni Pariksha there. Ram tells her, you can go anywhere you want because you have been with Ravan in his palace. So, what happens is, I'm sorry, my Siri has caught something and it is talking nonsense. She chooses to do the Agni Pariksha there. It's not Ram who asks. Her independent mind, she says, I will prove before everyone. She chooses and she comes out. Unlike Draupadi, who comes in the birth, she comes out of fire, purified, and she becomes once again Ram's wife. It's like another marriage. Pattabhisheka happens, she lives there. When Ram abandons her, again, she is the world's first single mother. She doesn't despair. She is sad that this happened to it. But what does she do? She brings up her two sons in such a way that they are considered as the greatest scholars at that time, Leva and Kush. It's a mother who teaches it, and she also teaches them war. An aspect of Sita who never talks about. She teaches them so well that they defeat everyone, including Hanuman, who had defeated the Ravan's army. One mother alone in the forest makes two teenage kids defeat Ram itself. This is where Ramayana leads about. No, and then when Ram asks for Agni Pariksha, she says, I have done my things. Now that is it. I am going back to the womb of the earth. there could be no stronger woman than this. And that is why Sita was considered as the epitome of womanhood, not Urmila. Sita was considered. And she was also considered, she is also considered. The other woman who is considered like this is what? Shakti, Devi. So it was never the demure, obeying everything, rule following, which many of the elders in the family or the gurus try to tell that this is Bharatiya Samskriti. No, this is the actual one. Where why Sita is celebrated. All the Panchaganyas, when we talk about, all of them have this kind of fierce independence in them, and they are never were bound by the rules. So, in effect, even though that word is not called, they are all following the Asura way. So, this is something which I elaborate in this book.
Thank you so
I
much.
know I deviated, but since you asked, I thought I.
No, no, that was wonderful, sir. And that the symbolism of women empowerment from our mythology and so beautifully presented in that storytelling, we were all mesmerized and hope and we wish that we could just go on with the beautiful storytelling and hear more from you. But unfortunately, every good things have to take a halt. And I would ask the
More
audience.
of it you can read from the book. Please buy the book.
Yes. So we will have an open house now and ask the audience if they want to pose some questions to sir, and then we can bring it to the end. Okay. Sure.
Thank you, sir, for that lovely talk. So you were saying that in Hinduism, everything can be interpreted according to your own convenience. Like if you are in a certain way, you can look at things in a certain way. So do you think that kind of immorality or cruelty can also creep in the dominant part of the religion because of this?
Um, how many wars have happened because of somebody saying this book is right and everything else is wrong in Hinduism? Because it allows so many, all paths are valid. Actually, it is a better conflict resolution.
But right now we are seeing that
Because
the
it
opposite is happening.
Because it is imitating the Abrahamic religions. That is why, see, there are positive and negative about everything.
Yeah.
One thing is, one problem is there regarding the rule following. Indians don't follow rules because inherently we are so many, every path is right for us. But more or less throughout the history, if you see, we didn't fight crusades. We didn't eliminate. Funny thing is that the religion which denies God, which is that religion? Communism. It equaled the record of genocide in 100 years what all other religions did in 3000 years. The biggest genocide happened in communist countries, right? All the talk of liberalism and this thing, which communist country had been ever liberal? Which communist country has been ever tolerant? Right from Stalin to Vietnam to North Korea to China to Poland. The exam in 100 years it equaled all the records of. We will have to work really, really hard to reach 1% of what communism did. With all the madness happening now in Hinduism also, we will have to work really, really hard to match what communists did in the 100 years of its existence, which is a hard fact. You can just see the number of genocides and number of people Stalin released in killing, Mao released in killing. And I don't think no king in the crusades, whether among Christians or Muslims or in Hindus, have matched that record. Even Hitler comes only a close, he will have a inferiority complex. If you see the number of people the so-called liberal communists have killed, I don't have any qualms in telling it openly because I know it is fashionable to say this. Yes, there are problems happening in our country. Hinduism is becoming more and more, if I say, Semitic in its nature. In saying that, which is a big concern, no doubt about that, because it is trying to imitate that there is only one God, one book kind of thing, which actually is very bad because Hinduism has its own problems, which many Semitic religions don't have. Hinduism, I keep telling this, caste is a big problem. But however it has evolved. It could have evolved for good reason, bad reason, but where it ended up is such a mess. Inhumane system, caste is a inhumane system. No doubt about that. What is soothing about it is that all paths are valid kind of approach. Now you remove that all paths are valid approach, you have a monster, you will end up with a monster which has the problem of caste and all the oppression in it yet to be resolved, plus the problems of Abrahamic religion. The Abrahamic religion's greatest advantage is more or less it has told about the equality of all people inside. Its fights are always, I'm not saying all of them are, at least they are extremist fights. Only 5% will be extremist in any religion. That's valid, it's human nature. The fights of the Abrahamic religions extremist, whether it's Ku Klux Klan or ISIS, their fight is basically fight against the non-believers. Whereas Hinduism's fight never was, there was no concept of non-believer. It accepted everyone. Jews came, it accepted. When Parsis came, it accepted. Hinduism's problem was about treating people in hierarchy. Now you have that hierarchical caste concept also, plus you borrow none of the egalitarian concepts of Abrahamic religion and only its bad aspects of intolerance. You have a monster which is intolerant at one place and also casteist in heart, which is dangerous. That is why I tried to write, and I'm not the first person writing, all the saints in India. What was their purpose? All the Bhakti saints of Maharashtra, so many of them. What was their purpose? These were all social reformers, apart from spiritualists. Every one of them fought against this evil of caste. You take Basava, you take all the Maratha great saints of Maharashtra, all Tulasidas, Guru Nanak. It's a 1,000-year-old tradition which has been fighting this monster and trying to bring some sanity into life. We don't follow that path. We just follow this kind of pop philosophy of the modern day Babas with private jets and other things. So that is so we get all put together, we get a kichadi of a culture which is slowly imbibing all the poison from everywhere. It is also behaving like the most fascist of all regimes, like communism. Communism is so intolerant to any differing views. Many writers pride themselves to have their left liberal views. I have no problem with that. But what they forget is the same view had, you had to just look at the Soviet era writers and how many were sent to gulags to know about the liberalism of what will happen if the power is given. What many accuse of others, mostly they are responsible for those kind of crimes.